Imagine knowing who was president when each of our presidents was born. This fascinating journey through time not only tells us about the presidents but also about the history of our nation. George Washington, born on February 22, 1732, predates the presidency itself. There was no United States yet, just 13 British colonies. His birth was during the reign of King George I of Great Britain. Washington's early life on a Virginia plantation laid the foundation for his future leadership in the American Revolution and as the first president of the United States. John Adams was born on October 30, 1735, when King George I was still on the throne. Adams would grow up during a time of increasing tension between the colonies and Britain, eventually becoming a key figure in the American Revolution. Thomas Jefferson, born on April 13, 1743, also saw his early years under King George I. His intellect and curiosity flourished in this pre-revolutionary period, setting the stage for his future role as the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. James Madison came into the world on March 16, 1751, during the same king's reign. Growing up in Virginia, he would later be known as the father of the Constitution. James Monroe was born on April 28, 1758. By now, King George I had taken the throne. Monroe's youth was marked by the revolutionary spirit that swept the colonies, and he fought in the Continental Army before entering politics. John Quincy Adams, son of John Adams, was born on July 11, 1767. During his birth, his father was already deeply involved in the growing revolutionary movement against King George I's rule. Andrew Jackson, born on March 15, 1767, experienced the pre-revolutionary tension in the Carolinas. His fiery personality and military prowess would later define his presidency. Martin Van Buren was born on December 5, 1782, after the Declaration of Independence, but before the end of the Revolutionary War. His birth came during the Articles of Confederation period, under no singular president, but amidst the chaotic struggle for a new nation. William Henry Harrison was born on February 9, 1773, under King George I's rule. He would later become a military hero and the 9th president, albeit briefly. John Tyler, born on March 29, 1790, came into the world during George Washington's first term. Tyler grew up witnessing the new nation's formative years, which influenced his future policies. James K. Polk was born on November 2, 1795, when George Washington was still president. His early life was shaped by the nation's expanding boundaries and the spirit of exploration. Zachary Taylor, born on November 24, 1784, during the Confederation period, would become a war hero known for his leadership in the Mexican-American War before his presidency. Millard Fillmore was born on January 7, 1800, with John Adams as president. The turn of the century was a time of political evolution, which Fillmore would later navigate as president. Franklin Pierce entered the world on November 23, 1804, during Thomas Jefferson's presidency. His formative years were steeped in Jeffersonian ideals, which influenced his own political career. James Buchanan, born on April 23, 1791, during Washington's first term, witnessed the early challenges of a fledgling nation, which would later frame his presidency on the brink of the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, when Thomas Jefferson was president. His humble beginnings in Kentucky shaped his views on equality and justice, leading to his pivotal role in American history. Andrew Johnson, born on December 29, 1808, also during Jefferson's presidency, faced adversity from a young age, which hardened his resolve and influenced his political path. Ulysses S. Grant, born on April 27, 1822, came into the world during James Monroe's presidency. His military career during the Civil War solidified his place in history long before his presidency. Rutherford B. Hayes was born on October 4, 1822, also under Monroe's presidency. His upbringing in Ohio, amid the country's westward expansion, influenced his future policies. James A. Garfield, born on November 19, 1831, during Andrew Jackson's presidency. Chester A. Arthur was born on October 5, 1829, When Andrew Jackson was president, his background as a lawyer and politician prepared him for his unexpected rise to the presidency. Grover Cleveland, born on March 18, 1837, during Martin Van Buren's presidency. Benjamin Harrison was born on August 20, 1833, under Andrew Jackson's presidency. William McKinley, born on January 29, 1843, during John Tyler's presidency, grew up during a time of national expansion and innovation, which characterized his own presidency. Theodore Roosevelt was born on October 27, 1858, during James Buchanan's presidency. His dynamic and adventurous spirit, evident from his youth, shaped his progressive policies as president. William Howard Taft, born on September 15, 1857, during James Buchanan's presidency. Woodrow Wilson was born on December 28, 1856, also under Buchanan's presidency. The tumultuous pre-Civil War era influenced his views on unity and democracy. Warren G. Harding, born on November 2, 1865, during Andrew Johnson's presidency. Calvin Coolidge was born on July 4, 1872, during Ulysses S. Grant's presidency. His upbringing in rural Vermont influenced his values of simplicity and integrity. Herbert Hoover, born on August 10, 1874, during Ulysses S. Grant's presidency, grew up in a Quaker family, instilling a sense of service and humanitarianism in him. Franklin D. Roosevelt was born on January 30, 1882, during Chester A. Arthur's presidency. His privileged upbringing and personal challenges, such as polio, deeply influenced his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Harry S. Truman was born on May 8, 1884, during Chester A. Arthur's presidency. His modest beginnings in Missouri shaped his straightforward and decisive leadership style. Dwight D. Eisenhower was born on October 14, 1890, when Benjamin Harrison was president. Growing up in a large family in Kansas, he developed strong values of discipline and leadership. John F. Kennedy, born on May 29, 1917, during Woodrow Wilson's presidency. Lyndon B. Johnson was born on August 27, 1908, when Theodore Roosevelt was president. His Texas upbringing during a period of progressive reform influenced his ambitious Great Society programs. Richard Nixon, born on January 9, 1913, also during Woodrow Wilson's presidency, grew up in a modest Quaker family, shaping his resilient yet controversial political career. Gerald Ford, born on July 14, 1913, during Woodrow Wilson's presidency, was adopted and raised in Michigan, where he developed a reputation for honesty and integrity. Jimmy Carter, born on October 1, 1924, during Calvin Coolidge's presidency, grew up in rural Georgia, where his deep sense of community and humanitarian values took root. Ronald Reagan, born on February 6, 1911, also during William Howard Taft's presidency, began his career as an actor before becoming a prominent political figure known for his conservative principles. George H.W. Bush was born on June 12, 1924, during Calvin Coolidge's presidency. His privileged background and military service in World War II influenced his leadership style and foreign policy. Bill Clinton, born on August 19, 1946, when Harry S. Truman was president, grew up in Arkansas during the post-World War II era, which inspired his focus on economic and social reform. George W. Bush, born on July 6, 1946, also during Truman's presidency, experienced a political upbringing that prepared him for his own presidential challenges. Barack Obama, born on August 4, 1961, during John F. Kennedy's presidency, grew up in a diverse cultural environment, shaping his inclusive and progressive approach to governance. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946, again during Truman's presidency. Joe Biden, born on November 20, 1942, during Franklin D. Roosevelt's presidency, grew up during the World War II era, which framed his long career in public service and his focus on unity and resilience.